Alright, so I'm back, and today we're going to take a look at something a little bit different because I'm, again, branching out from my usual collection, so figure keep you guys posted on it. Now, what this is the Batman the Animated Series Man-bat. So, and I know this isn't a very new figure either, but, whatever. And so I've been kind of eyeing this collection for a while. Originally I wanted to get into like a Batman series where they were able to fit in with my Marvel Legends, and my big problem with that is just they're on a different scale than the Marvel Legends from everyone I've tried to get, or they're such a lower quality par that it's like, this isn't gonna work at all. So I decided, I'm like, if I'm gonna go in on something, I'm gonna go into something that I truly enjoyed as a kid, which was the Batman Animated Series. It's in my top 5 favorite cartoons. I know a lot of people say that it's the best superhero cartoon, but I like X-Men better, to be honest, and Spider-Man a little bit better, as well as Batman Beyond, better than the Batman the Animated Series. But anyway, so I figure, if I'm going to start collecting a Batman series, or DC in general, might as well do it in a way that it's like, if they're not going to fit in with the Marvel Legends, let's go all out and make sure that they don't fit in at all. I tried to get, these are the, I can't remember what they're called, DC Multiverse Batman, and it's like if you have here against Spider-Man, and it's like that scale is okay. I'd say it's just about acceptable. My issue with it is these things are just garbage. Oh, I got a few of them now. I've got that Batman, the armored Batman. These things are just junk. I'll do a review on the 3 figures I have from it, but I'm out. I'm completely out of that. I mean, that was a poor mistake. But like I said, you can kind of argue that it fits in with the Marvel Legends, but the quality is so subpar that it's like, nope, not at all. So anyway, so let's take a look at Man-bat, and there's just size comparison. So I would say this is probably in the scale. I would have to get like a Batman to really take a look at that. But then the problem is that these definitely look like they're cartoon counterparts, whereas these look more like the comic book counterparts, and I don't think that's going to match up very well. So I don't think that's a good option either way. But just so you can get a sense of how big it is. Now, so this is Man-bat. I wanted to get one of these figures just to kind of test the waters, see if I'm really into it, before I went crazy about a ton of stuff. And I gotta say, the reason why I went with Man-bat is, one, because Man-bat's awesome. But also, it kind of brings that nostalgic feel to me. Because when I was a kid, the first Batman toy I was able to buy new was Man-bat. Followed very quickly afterwards by Two-Face. And it was the animated series Man-bat. So it means a lot to me, and the fact that this thing looks a lot like that is awesome. So he does come with a few accessories. We'll get him out of the way. He comes with these 3 little pill bottles, or vial bottles. And from the animated series, he needed to take all 3 of these, I believe, and that would turn him into Man-bat permanently. He wouldn't go back and forth, and then Batman had to cure him. So it's one of those, like, they're so tiny, you're gonna lose them, but at the same time, it's kind of essential to the character's story. So it's really cool to see them in here. It also comes with this little tape player, which is, it's just a gray brick painted, but it's pretty cool looking. And in the episode, if you remember, which I recommend, it's the first episode of Batman on Leather Wings. And there was a security officer that was like singing, and while he was singing, he got attacked by Man-bat, so it recorded Man-Bat's screech, and then Batman got it, and then he took it into the laboratory, and it turns out that same laboratory was where Man-Bat came from. So it was cool. So it's another little just nice nod to that episode. And then we get this display stand. So it kind of goes together like that. It has this has hardly any friction to it at all. So this isn't going to hold any weight. So if we sit here and try and put them on it, I don't think this is really going to work. Maybe this way. Yeah, no, it's not going to work. All right, now let's take a look at the figure itself. So his head. So first off, he's got this nice dark brown with this really well done peachish color here for the wings. He looks great. Great wingspan there. His head is on as far as I can tell, it's a double ball peg. One to the head and then one into the torso. So it's a little here and a little up and a good bit down. I do wish that there was maybe a cut in here to get him to look further up. So if you're going to pose him flying, so you can have the head facing forward, that would be ideal there, because you can't quite get him looking forward. He's looking straight down. There's no other way to do it. His wings, I do wish here that there was an in and out movement, as opposed, it's got an up and down, but if it's going to be up and down or in and out, I would have preferred in and out, I think. They do in a way resolve that, but at the same time it's just kind of maybe they could have put a cut here with a swivel, so you could have swiveled the arm around and then pivoted this the way you need it. I don't know. Anyway, so it's up and down, and you got all the way around, so it is a little bit limited. We'll get into the other arms here in a second. He does have a waist swivel with an ab crunch, so you get all the way down to there. So further than you need. And then all the way back to there, which is a good amount. Legs do swivel up to here, back to here, and then they swivel out like that. It destroys the sculpt completely when you do it. It's one of those that's they just can't seem to get that correct. They're not using the universal joints that Marvel does, or Hasbro, I guess, which is kind of a disappointment. But whatever. So they do go out like that. Kind of, it works, but he does have a knee bend. It goes back that far. So that's normal and that far. So it's almost non-existent. It's to the point where it's why bother? And then there is a swivel here where the leg attaches up there. So he is front heavy, so it is really difficult to get him to stand. But as you saw at the beginning, there is ways to do it. You just kind of have to balance that weight properly. But anyway, now you can take the arms off like that, and then he does come with these other arms, which are angled more downward. where, like these ones are straight out like he's flying, and like I said, I would have liked to see the hinge go in forward, but all that would really do is bend it to this point, which is exactly what these wings do. So it does resolve that issue by just giving it a second set of wings, which is cool, I guess. Little odd way to do it, I guess, but hey, found a way to do it. And I believe this will probably balance a little easier. Yeah. So, and that's the I'm standing here with a menace look on my face. I would definitely go with these wings over the flying wings because you can't get the head far enough up to get them to fly, but you can definitely get them to look like a mean monster. So there is the swivel in the arm still, and then the hinge only goes out to there, but again, you're not really needing to go any further than that. And then if you do, I'm sure if you kind of pivot things right, you can probably get them to walk on all fours or something. That is really poor effort on my part, but I mean, I'm sure you can do better if you really gave it a minute to try. But like I said, I mean, he does seem to stand fine as is. You just have to get that right balance going. Yeah, something like that. So anyway, so yeah, there's the Man-bat. I fear that this is going to be a large rabbit hole for me because I've got quite a bit to catch up on. I'll probably stick with the animated series and then move into the new adventures. And I know they're doing some Superman ones now, along with Batman Beyond. I'm guessing they'll probably get the Justice League as well. And I'm fully down with all of that. Me and a friend, John, we were discussing whether or not to get into this series. And I know I told him that this would be up today. So, John, I know you're out there, and I'm going to give this my full endorsement. These things are fun. They're not as superposable as Marvel Legends. They're not that, they don't hit that comic book itch like the Marvel Legends do, like some of them do, but they definitely hit that. It just walked right off the screen, because that's what this feels like to me. This thing just came right off the screen, and I am ecstatic about this collection now. I was hesitant because part of me was like, I don't think this is going to fit with my Marvel Legends, and I was also hesitant because the posability didn't look that great. But ultimately, the posability is not that big of a deal to me once you get them on the shelf. But I mean, I do want to still pose my figure, so I don't want to go statue. That's not my cup of tea. But I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Trying to get this thing to stand again. He's a difficult one to stand, that's for sure. And that bait stand is utterly worthless. Just don't even bother with that thing. So yeah, I do recommend him if you're into this type of collection. If you're not, then don't bother. But if you're into this type of look, if you're into the Batman the Animated Series collection, if you don't have this already, I would recommend picking it up. I heard there's some QC issues, but honestly, I'm not seeing anything on this guy. So this guy is pretty spectacular. I'm gonna rate him an 8 out of 10. I think the wings the posability in general could have been done a little bit better. There probably would have been a better way to do the wings without having to add a second pair of wings in there. But it's acceptable the way they did it. But what is not is, one, getting him to stand. That it does make a challenge there. And also the head. How if you got him in flying mode, you ain't getting the head high enough to make it actually look like he's watching where he's going. And that's disappointed for some people that want to get him posed. Outside of that, really, I can't think of any other negatives. I think this thing is pretty much the best Man-Bat I've ever gotten, and I'm really happy I got it. Now, I just got paid, so now my new mission is to go back down to that same store and pick up more of these characters. And it's going to be a rabbit hole, that's for sure. But it is what it is. I think my one issue with the line is the number of Batmans. And it's the same Batman over and over again. Like, you get him alone. You can get him in this pack that has a whole bunch of different heads, arms, hands, and all that stuff. Which, I mean, it looks great. You can get you get him with the Phantasm, which of course I need the Phantasm now. So it's kind of like I'm gonna end up with one with the Phantasm, and then there's a set that has the Bat Signal along with Batman and Robin. So it's kind of like if I want to get the Bat Signal, then I have to get Batman again. So it's like, how many Batmans am I going to end up with? And then they're also doing the New Adventures of Batman and Robin, which has a different Batman. So it's like, here we go. So I'm probably going to end up with a few Batman and in the end, but I don't see a real problem with that either. So yeah, I'm hoping that we get a Scarecrow. I don't know if they did already. I really have to look into it. I didn't see one at the store when I was there. They had, like, both versions of the Joker, both versions of Harley, Robin, on and on and on. Killer Croc, all of them. The oh no, I can't remember his name. The Puppet Master one. Yeah, they had him and Clayface and all that stuff. But yeah, it's like, if I'm gonna just get one, I'm gonna start with Man-Bat. The cost is pretty good. I mean, they're usually average about $25, I think. This one was $30, but I know he was originally supposed to be $25, so it's just a markup from the store. But I ain't gonna complain about that, because this is a good figure. Anyway, yeah, there you go. Sorry to kind of just ramble on, but yeah, I definitely see me picking up more of these guys, and you'll probably see more reviews for it popping up here and there. I'll probably try and tie a few of them together, like Batman and Robin, Catwoman, and Soba, Joker and Harley. Just so that I can, knock a few out at once as opposed to just one at a time. I know this one was a little bit longer, but typically I don't see these things being too long. As for these things, I don't know. I'll probably do a review on them when I can. It's just throw them all three together, even though they're from different lines and stuff like that. But just to get them out of the way, because I do. I'm probably going to just record that right now.